Hey, good morning, guys. Rich here, Finn's Garage. How you guys doing? Saturday morning, 9 a.m. down in Tampa, Florida, and it is so damn hot. It's just unbearable. So, anyway, besides that, we have a 2026 Sportster S, brand new in the shop today, 1,000 mile service. So, just wanted to bring you two quick hints, tips. For those of you that own the Sportster S, those of you that are thinking about buying the Sportster S, and just to give you a quick history on these bikes. So these came out in 2022, and then this is a brand new 2026. Harley's changed a couple things over the past couple years. For those of you that don't know, the way you do oil changes has changed. There were some issues. If you look at the owner manuals of the first Sportster S that came out, it would tell you to drain the oil, level, or on the Jiffy stand. It didn't really specify, and the initial fill was 3 quarts of oil. There's been some modifications. There's been some issues where people were overfilling the engine, causing some head gasket leaks and stuff like that, just because you had too much oil in there. So one tip when you're doing these oil changes, doesn't matter if it's 1K, 5K, or whatever it is, you must drain the oil when it's on the Jiffy stand. They found that if you don't drain the oil on the Jiffy stand, you're not getting all that oil out of there, and then it gives you a false read when you guys do the initial fill, and you're potentially overfilling the engines. Another thing is after it's drained and you fill it back up, you want to do the initial fill, 2.5 quarts. Do not do the 3 that's in the owner's manuals. If you look at the new owner's manuals, 25, 26, 2.5 quarts on the Jiffy stand. And there is a mark that gives you a quick reference on the Jiffy stand of how much oil to put in it. And then you go take it for a ride, you get it hot, and then you must do your final oil check with this bike upright. You will not be able to get enough oil in the engine if it's on the Jiffy stand. So this bike must be final checked oil level, upright position. So get a jack, get a piece of wood, anything. Obviously we have a lift, so it makes it a lot easier here. But those of you doing it, at home, make sure you're putting that oil in and doing that final top off when this bike is absolutely level. So take it for a ride, get it hot. Let it idle for about a minute, 30 seconds to a minute. Turn it off, make sure the bike's upright. Then do your final check, and then, top off if needed. So anyway, that's the tip on the oil change. Those of you that do not know that, now you know. You can check the owner's manuals and stuff like that. I'm not giving you false information. This is legit news. They came out and and Harley issued a service bulletin to actually change the oil fill procedure. So. Anyway, that's on the oil. In terms of clutch adjustment, these are not like your V-twin engines, right? You don't go into the primary and you don't undo the adjuster and you back it off a half to, to a full turn. These bikes are just like your metric bikes, right? There is an adjustment at the lever, and then there's also an inline adjuster, which is right here, right underneath the tank. When you're doing your services, at those critical intervals, the 1K, 5K, 10K, et cetera, you must adjust it at both sides. If you're just doing the clutch adjustment at the handle, you're not picking up for slack that may be going on in the actual clutch where the discs are wearing. So you must adjust it at the handle. You must adjust it at the inline adjuster as well. And the process is very simple. So for an example, this bike, I think it's got 980 miles on it. Came in, clutch was, pretty loose. It looks like the owner of the bike, tried to adjust the clutch a little bit up here, and you can tell it was just severely out of slack, and it needed to be adjusted down here. So the process is very simple. This one's already adjusted. I adjusted it, and you have to do the adjustment when it's cold. You have to do clutch adjustment when it's cold. If it's hot, things are expanding, and you'll get a false, measurement, and you'll get a false, some drag and stuff like that as a potential issue. So the way you adjust it, I'll talk you through it because this one's already done. So you slide the boot back on the handle, and you have your classic adjuster with your adjustment stop, and you basically adjust it all the way in so it bottoms out into the hand grip. Okay, and you will get play in that cable, right? That cable will be able to move back and forth. So Bring it all the way back so you have no play, so it bottoms out. Make sure the lock is all the way pushed against the adjuster as well, so you take up all that slack. Bring that adjustment all the way back to the handle, and then you bring it back out 3 full turns, right? That's going to give you room, so when you got to make your final adjustment, it's in an optimal spot. So back it out 3 complete turns. If you want to mark the adjuster wheel, it does have a slot in there where the cable goes in for like a reference. So back it out 3 full turns, lock it up, with the lock, then come to your inline adjuster. And you are going to have play in that gap where the clutch cable can move in and out of that handle, right? So make sure you pull that all the way out. And basically you're going to unlock this adjuster, you're going to, break the lock bolt there, and you're basically going to adjust this to take the slack out at the handle. So, just observe the slack as you're, adjusting this. And then you don't want to go super tight. You just want to get it where there's no play in that cable, where there's absolutely no gap. Don't crank it down. Don't do that, because you could put some, pre-lift on your clutch. So anyway, you adjust it here, get the slack out of the cable, lock this back up, and then you go back to the handle, and then you can make your fine-tune adjustments. So the optimal, there is a range from like 78 thousandths to like I think 120 thousandths is the range. But get it to about 100 thousandths of an inch. Some rule of thumb is you can slide a penny in that gap. You're basically going to hold that clutch lever, and you're going to pull on the cable, and you're going to see what that space is in between the ferrule and the actual gap of the clutch handle. So once you get it in that range, 100 thousandths is a good measurement. Lock it up, slide the boot back on, your clutch is fully adjusted. And again, must be done cold, has to be done cold. So anyway, figured I'd bring you those couple tips for your Sportster S guys out there. Always drain the oil on the Jiffy stand, 2.5 quart initial fill, top it off upright, and then when you make your clutch adjustment, make sure you're adjusting it at the handle and also at the inline adjuster right here. So anyway, thanks for watching. Don't know where you're located, but if you're in the Florida, Tampa Bay area, it is hot as hell down here, but we work in the garage. We love the heat, love the sweat. And yeah, that's it. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Like, subscribe. If you have a Sportster S and you're doing maintenance or you have any tips, drop a comment. Let's chat. All righty. With that, peace out. See ya.